Greetings everyone. In this lesson we're going to learn about Bookbuilder. Bookbuilder is a tool created and offered by the organization CAST. CAST is the Center for Applied Special Technology, and they believe in this principle called UDL. Or Universal Design for Learning. And you'll read about Universal Design for Learning, which is a framework that you can use in your classroom when you think about developing lessons for your students at whatever level you teach. To begin with this assignment, you'll need to visit bookbuilder.cast.org. This will bring you to this page, and you'll need to create an account. You'll notice I'm already logged in, and when you're logged in, you'll have a little welcome message for you when you look up in the top right corner. So before you create your book, the first thing I would do is to go to Model Books, and this will give you you can go through here and search and get an idea of what you can actually do. Up here you can filter through the different things you might want to search for, and you can set the parameters for content areas. You can set it for the type of story you want. You can also select different languages, which is good for learners in your classroom who may not speak English as their first language. And then when you get your return, you'll see different books in here that you can choose. So if you want, you can click on Read, and I'll just pull this up, and you'll notice that you have a story here. It's 29 pages. Now you'll notice that different books will have different lengths, and I did not put a page number or a page limit on this assignment because it'll depend on what story you write. So I don't want to limit you in any way. So if some of you write longer stories, you may have more pages than other people have. But some of the main things that you need to do, you need to make sure that you use the learning coaches, which you'll see momentarily. You'll need to add some audio, and that could be your voice, that could be some music, that could be sound effects. You'll need to make sure you use digital images in your story as well as text. And so you notice here on this first home page, this is kind of like the cover page. So there's a title up here, there's an image that represents what's going on in this story, there's some captions, and there's a little title here, and it tells you who it's written by. So that's how you can start out, by making your home page this, or your first page, this way. And then to navigate through the book, I can go here to this arrow and then click on this. You're not required to have a table of contents, but if that's something you want to do, you could do that. It may be helpful when you're in the classroom. So we'll go to the next page. This begins the story, and in this particular story, it just tells you about getting familiar with Bookbuilder. And these are the learning coaches I mentioned, and there's more than 3. So when you go through to make your book, you'll see more. And what happens with the coaches is that you get to type some text in that'll help the reader along. So for example, if you were doing a story and you were talking about cause and effect, you may type in the definition of cause and effect, and when the student clicks on this particular character, that character will pop up. So I'll double click on this character, and you'll notice right here, this is what you type in, and then the character reads that.
I'm here to help think about why different steps are helpful in your history.
And when that's over, the reader can just click stop. So the learning coaches are really an extension of you. They multiply you in effect. So if you were to use this in the classroom, this could be something that students work on independently, and you could have little plants in the story to help them do certain things, to help them reach the objectives of whatever it is you're trying to do at that particular moment. It could be math, it could be language arts, it could be reading, whatever it is you're covering. These characters are extensions of you, and so whatever you type into the message, that's what the character will read back to the student when they click on these characters. So let's go to the next page. And you'll notice here that this is telling you about Bookbuilder. There's text help, text to speech, and that stuff is over here. You can find different stuff in here. If you click on this, it'll speak the current selection. So if a student highlights a section of text and presses that, it'll play it for them. And then we'll click on the next book. And that's how this goes. And this is text you add, and you just keep on going through the story, and there's just different parts that you'll do. So whatever story you create, you need to make sure you have digital images, and they can come from different places. They could be images that you take, they could be images that you find online, but make sure that you're not using copyrighted material. If you use clip art and things like that, or if you go to sites that allow you to use educational images or historical images, that's fine. Or if you draw something and scan it in and you can make a JPEG out of it or a GIF, that's fine to do. Make sure you have some learning coaches, and you'll also add your own audio. That could be music or sound effects, or it could be the recording of your voice. And I don't think this story has any, so we'll try to find another one. I'll close this and let's click on this one. Let me drag it up. Again, it starts with a title page. This one has, notice this one has 10 pages, the other one had 29. So depending on your creativity and what you plan on doing will determine how long your story is going to be. And this is just another example of a different story that you might have as you go through. So the main thing you need to do is to figure out, well, what kind of story do you want to tell? What kind of story do you want to write? Or what kind of story do you want to expand? You may want to provide an alternate take of something that you've read before, or you may just want to do a character analysis of something you've read before. You may want to teach a lesson. Maybe you do a math word problem or something like that. But whatever it is you want to do, just make sure that you go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to click on Create and Edit My Books. And you can locate this from that first page as well. I'll just click back. You'll notice right here it says Create and Edit My Books. But I do suggest that you go visit these other links to learn more about Bookbuilder. So when you click on this, you get to this page, and notice this link right here. You want to click on Start a New Book. And then when your new book starts, you want to give it a title, and the author is going to be you. Illustrator could be you, or and then you just fill in that information. You put a school group, you do content area, and all this will be helpful if you plan on, let's say, on a team. If people are going to use these books, then you would put that information so it'd be easy for them to know what it is you created. So then you just go through and you fill in that information. Then you choose your characters that you want. Now notice here you can put other images, and you can create your own little learning coaches if you want. So by default these three are selected, but you can change that easily. And notice you can click here, and you can change to female, and you can change it to French. So whatever it is you might want to do, you can add your own little flair there. And then you want to do submit. Alright, so it's going to make you do these areas. We'll just select some random things here. Alright, that should do it. Now you select submit. And now you start to make your book. And then here you can see all the information that you entered, so make sure that that's correct. Right here you can work on your title page, so you click on that part right there. And once you click on title page, you'll be able to add text here. Here you add your image. You can add more text there. If you need audio, and this is where if you're going to record something, you can upload that audio. So if you clicked on that, you would be able to search your computer to find that audio. And then if you want to edit one of these coaches, if you wanted to add a coach, you just click on that. Here you type what you want the coach to say. You can preview it to make sure it sounds the way it should, and then once you are ready, you just click save. If not, you delete it and start over. And then you do that for your title page. And the next thing you need to do, so that's your title page. Now if you want a table of contents, then you click on that icon, and then here you'll be able to do your table of contents. If you need the coaches here, you can use them again. You don't have to. Next you'll go to content pages, and this is where you put the story. So this is your title page, your table of contents. Now you go here for your content, and this is what you'll put on each page for your story. And most of this stuff is going to be the same, done the same way. Notice here you add your images, you add text, you add audio, you add your coaches here, and then you just keep doing that. You can also add pages before and after if you like. And once you've completed most of what you want, you just want to go to book completed, and you click on that, and this will ask you your question here, and you just click on save. And now you notice that your book is here. This is the one that I just did. So what you want to do is select publish at some point, and it'll publish it. You'll get this message, and you want to publish it to the public library. Everything that most people make here is public. All teachers that make stuff share it freely, and then you say that you've read and agree with that stuff. And once you agree, now this could take a little bit longer because I didn't have much content, so I went quite fast. And notice it says publish to library, and then your book is published. And the next thing you'll need to do, and notice here that you could print it if you wanted to. So if you were doing this in the classroom, you could print this out and give this to students to take home or to do whatever it is you might want to do. You can also download it. So if you wanted to download it and put it on a machine, so in case the internet was out and you wanted kids to still be able to use it, you could. You can also delete your book when you're finished. But to get the link to it that you'll need, you want to click on read, and you'll notice that your story will come up. Then there's nothing here because I didn't add anything. But you get this address right here, you copy it, you go to your wiki space, and then you'll make a link like you learn how to make links if you watch that video for making links on wiki spaces. And then this is how I'll get to your book. So that's the basics of creating your book. And the main thing is, like I said, is to be creative and to use the different tools that are listed on the website under that assignment. And if you have any questions, please let me know.